Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaganvitam Cha Om Jnanatimidandhasya Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namam Vishnupadaya Acharya Singha Rupine Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namine Pati Marta Charitraya Swasitam Chapaline Jiveduhe Sadartaya Shri Nama Prema Daine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Dayitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namah Madhurujjvala Pramadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rup Anuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dhvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhena Shambodhe Padam Bhujayati Namah Namo Bhakti Vinodayo Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupayo Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhabhumistam Vidishta Sajjana Priya Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannathayate Nam Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Tatitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratri Namah He Krishna Karunar Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatang Sarato Panga Mamo Mannamate Gati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojam Radha Manan Mohana Divyat Bindarana Kalpadruman Srimad Ratnagara Singh Staru Shri Shri Radha Shila Govinda Deva Prashthalibi Sivyamana Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vanshi Vata Tathastita Karshan Venukshanair Gopir Gopinatha Shri Estunaha Vrindavai Tulasidebai Priya Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvatai Namo Namah. Panchatatmatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Ram. Aadhaar card page. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Let us offer our most humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Krishna Dvaipaya and Vyasadeva, at the lotus feet of the Supreme, at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Let us also offer our most humble obeisance at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and his eternal associates, beginning with Arjuna. Let us also offer our most humble respects to the scripture, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is. May they bless us so that we are able to take these wonderful transcendental instructions to heart, as did Arjuna. Well, so we are reading from chapter 13, Bhagavad Gita chapter, text 19. This chapter is known as Nature, the Enjoyer, and Consciousness. Iti
Iti
Kshetram
Kshetram
Tatha
Tatha
Jnanam.
Jnanam.
Iti Kshetram Tatha Jnanam.
Iti Kshetram Tatha Jnanam.
Jneyam
Yeyam
Choktam
Choktam
Samasataha.
Samasataha.
Jneyam Choktam Samasataha.
Yeyam Choktam Samasataha.
Madbhakta
Madbhakta
Etad
Etat
Vijnaya.
Vijnaya.
Madbhakta Etad Vijnaya.
Madbhakta Etad Vijnaya.
Mad
Mad
Bhavayo Papadyate.
Bhavayo Papadyate.
Mad Bhavayo Papadyate.
Madbhavayo Papadyate.
Iti Kshetram Tatha Jnanam.
Iti Kshetram Tatha Jnanam.
Jneyam Choktam Samasataha.
Yeyam Choktam Samasataha.
Madbhakta Etad Vijnaya.
Madbhakta Etad Vijnaya.
Madbhavayopapadyate
मद्भावायोपपद्यते
iti kshetram tatha jnanam
इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानम्
ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः
ज्ञेयं चुक्तं समासतः
मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय
मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय
मद्भावयोपपद्यते
मद्भावायोपपद्यते
इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानम्
इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानम्
ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः
ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः
मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय
मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय
मद्भावायोपपद्यते.
मद्भावायोपपद्यते
Please read.
Iti, thus, kshetram, field of activities, the body. Tata, also. Dhyanam, knowledge. Kyeyam, knowledgeable,
Knowable.
knowable. Cha, also. Uktam, describe. Samasataha, in summary. Mad bhaktaha, my devotee. Etat, all this. Vigyaya, after understanding. Mat bhavaya, my nature. Upapadyate, attains. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. Purport. The Lord has described in summary the body, knowledge, and the knowable. This knowledge is of three things: the knower, the knowable, and the process of knowing. Combined, these are called vijnanam, or the science of knowledge. Perfect knowledge can be understood by the unalloyed devotees of the Lord directly. Others are unable to understand. The monists, they say that at the ultimate stage, these three items become one, but the devotees do not accept this. Knowledge and development of knowledge mean understanding oneself in Krishna consciousness. We are being led by material consciousness, but as soon as we transfer all consciousness to Krishna's activities and realize that Krishna is everything, then we attain real knowledge. In other words, knowledge is nothing but the preliminary stage of understanding devotional service perfectly.
Iti kshetram tatha jnanam yeyam chuktam samasatah madbhakta etad vigyaya madbhavayo papadyate. Thus the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. Always in the middle, in the amidst every principle of attaining knowledge, Krishna always makes it clear that we are dealing with individuals, so that there's no confusion. The Mayavadis, they aspire for knowledge so that they can lump, so to say, together these three facets, three factors of knowledge: the knowledge, knowable, and the knower. Let's read that. But the devotees do not accept this. Knowledge and development of knowledge mean understanding oneself in Krishna consciousness. This knowledge is of three things. The knower, that is Jiva. The knowable, that is the ultimate. There are many things which are knowable. But the ultimate knowledge, knowable, is the absolute truth. And the process of attaining that, how do we come to know the absolute truth? So these are the three factors. And they are always independent from each other, but connected with the goal of knowledge. However, the monists, they said that the ultimate stage, these three items became one. That is, the knower, that is Jiva, knowledge, which is the understanding of who that object is to be known. When we say knowledge, then we should possess all the different factors that constitute the object of knowledge. That is, form, its depth, its reaction, its repercussion. How was it brought together, assembled? Are there many constituents about that which is to be known? So there are umpteen different factors surrounding the object of knowledge. But from all the different objects of knowledge, the ultimate object of knowledge is the absolute truth. And the absolute truth appears before us in the form of Krishna. Otherwise, the absolute truth is impersonal. If we leave it at that. And so therefore Krishna is saying that the Mayavadis, they are not able to go that one step more. The absolute truth is impersonal, yes. When we talk about the absolute truth. But then, the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is only a partial aspect. Partial. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvad jajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmiti bhagavaniti sabdyate. So the same absolute truth to a beginner is Brahman, the all-pervasive aspect of the Supreme Lord. To one who is a little more advanced and has attained Atma Gyan, has attained the knowledge over the personality. So that personality is Atma. Because until and unless we are completely established in the cognizance, understanding, recognition and cognizance of me, the one who is to experience what is knowledge, there's no meaning to it. Therefore, all these three factors, the knower, and it begins with the knower. It doesn't begin with the knowledge. I don't even know that knowledge exists, and I don't even know that this knowledge is meant for me. So therefore the central, the protagonist, so to speak, in this is the knower. Then you have the knowable. What possibilities do we have with the given what is called given qualities with which we are able to inquire into the object of knowledge. That is the knowable. And the process. And there's also a very definite process. In the material world, the process is in the laboratory room. But in the spiritual is the material existence itself. The entire universe is our laboratory. So that's why the monists, they think that everything that is to be known is already given in this material world. Why do we have to speculate about it as it is done in the scriptures? They think that the conclusions that are in the scriptures, they are all speculations. And therefore, because they do not accept it, they embank upon a long journey of trying to find the veracity of scriptural injunctions, whether they are true or not. And so Krishna is saying, after many, many births, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, then somebody will come to know that me, I, the one who is to be known, knowable, that is Vasudeva, absolute truth. In its full-fledged form, absolute truth in its full-fledged manifestation is Vasudeva. So in this way, this is the path of bhakti. Whereas the monists, they want to scrap all these different divisions and differences. They say, monists are saying, the knower, the knowable, and the process of knowing, there's just one and the same. One and the same. And devotees are saying, no, there are these three, and each of these three factors, they are always, eternally interdependent, but at the same time, not dependent on either the process of learning, knowing, nor who the knower is. It does not depend on that. Meaning, if somebody, through inquiry, arrives at the conclusion that there's nothing superior to the all-pervasive aspect of the absolute truth, that's the highest, such conclusion is very limited. So that is not a proper conclusion. So the process and the object of knowledge, they are very intimately connected with each other. according to the conclusion, the process has to be fashioned, has to be structured according to that. So in this way, at every juncture, Krishna completely defeats the monistic approach to the absolute truth. And here at the end, Krishna is saying that only devotees can understand this thoroughly. No one else. Non-devotees cannot. They will always end up completely confused. So because most of them become confused, few of them, by the Lord's grace, receive some kind of support, depending on the Ajiva's desire and attitude of surrender. So, Krishna is saying that only the devotees can understand. Now that's a very important factor. Everyone else may be very much learned, an erudite scholar, but that does not mean that he will actually understand what is real knowledge, because it's revealed. Therefore, unless we have this understanding about the revelation of the absolute truth, it will always be speculation. So therefore Krishna is saying, Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Vasudeva Krishna is the all in all. All in all. But it is our misfortune that we are not ready to accept the authorities who can give us a clear understanding. Nobody knows why somebody should wait before they understand that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is speaking, and therefore, if we are worshipping Him, we are worshipping Him. So why is this happening? That this confusion remains is because we are not willing to wholeheartedly accept the dictums in the scriptures, what Krishna is saying. Because by the application of our mind and logic, we'll never be able to come to any kind of conclusion. So this whole process is not about understanding. Understanding is only one step in the process. You're talking about knower, knowable, and the process of knowing. So this process of knowing is, first of all, hearing, Shravanam. And then to understand what is being said in the context of this material creation and the Creator. And that has to be known. Another thing which has to be in the process is After having understood, one has to meditate. And then, by the process of meditation, the desire to have more intimate, more deep and profound understanding, because it is along with this intellectual capacity that we have, what is much more interesting is to feel this energy. You see, we think that knowledge, of course, in the material world, knowledge is dead. Knowledge is dead. It's not alive. Knowledge is always of the past. As soon as one speaks, the knowledge becomes known and accepted by the sound vibration, and gradually then it becomes integrated. And we don't see any more difference between all these sound vibration and the content, what the sound vibration carry. All these things are then not required. So when, after meditating, we have realized that a earnest meditator, one who is meditating, will certainly know one's own limitations and will certainly know the unlimited aspect of that, and therefore shall patiently wait till it manifests in the heart. That's the only process. So once it has manifested in the heart, then the devotee has to integrate it into his lifestyle, into his thinking, the way he thinks, his tendencies will have to be also included. So in that way, knowledge becomes complete. Otherwise, knowledge remains incomplete if one cannot understand the differences of these three: knower, knowable, and knowledge. So questions?
Hare Krishna.
Haribol?
Can anyone who has not taken initiation in the four sampradaya be a staunch devotee of Krishna?
Whether he can be a staunch devotee of Krishna?
Yes.
Of course. But still, he is a Kanishta.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain this? Is a staunch devotee and a Kanistha?
Staunch devotee means he doesn't worship anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
That is the meaning of staunch devotee. And Kanishta is because he does not favor the worship of the Lord's devotees over the direct worship of the Lord.
I came across in one of the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, in which he has called Mirabai as a staunch devotee.
Yes.
So that made me think about it, because she doesn't belong to the four sampradaya.
No, does not.
So even in spite of all her devotion, she remains a Kanishta.
Yeah, of course. Finished.
Haribol,
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
another question
Mm.
that it is, I've read that the Brahman realization is Sat realization. The Sat means, as we know, eternal. Paramatma realization is Chit, that is Gyan. And Bhagavan realization means Ananda, that is blissfulness. Will you please explain this?
I mean, the all-pervasive aspect is Brahman
Mm.
and is at the same time impersonal. So there is this knowledge, although it is about the transcendental subject matter, the subject matter is the absolute truth. And one aspect of this absolute truth is the all-pervasive aspect. Now, this all-pervasive aspect is actually the energy of the Lord. Not the Lord directly himself. Energy. The all-pervasive capacity of the Lord, that we call Sat. Sat. All-pervasive. And Chit is localized Paramatma, who is sitting in the heart. Chitta. Sometimes in Sanskrit, the heart is called Chitta. The localized aspect is he is in everywhere and he's also in the heart with a form. The Paramatma has a form. But that form is not inclusive of all his 64 qualities. Mostly the opulences. His opulence, richness, Aishwarya, his fame, his power, prowess, beauty, wisdom, renunciation. These 6 from the 64 qualities of the Lord are to be are seen, to be manifest, but not in full, in the Paramatma. And therefore, all those who worship this Paramatma form, or the representative of Chit, is worshipping with a mood of awe and reverence. And only through scriptural injunctions. Ultimately, Bhagavan, which is Ananda, that is the Bhagavan aspect of the absolute truth. But also the Bhagavan aspect of the absolute truth is not the ultimate. When the devotees worship Krishna with his eternal associates, then everything becomes complete. So without Atma Gyan, it's not possible to enter into this realm of transcendental knowledge. Neither Brahman realization nor Paramatma realization, but to speak of Bhagavan realization. First, one has to realize his own Atma.
The word Sat means eternal, and the Brahman realization is means all-pervasive aspect of the Supreme Lord. How this eternal thing is related with all-pervasiveness?
Related means that even though it is all pervasive, it is still eternal. That's what it means.
And similarly, Paramatma realization is Jnana. Chit means Jnana. So how is that related?
Also that it is eternal. It is eternal. That's how it is related. Without it being eternal, it cannot be proper knowledge.
Yes, yes. Mm. And Bhagwan realization is Ananda realization.
Yes.
One other question I have, that Chatur-Sloki Bhagavat, the 4 slokas, which is the basic principle of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you please explain this?
So these are the 4 slokas that Krishna initiated Brahmaji. And Lord Brahma, by meditating on them for thousands of years, he had the realization. So the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam are in these 4 slokas. The essence. So you see these great personalities, they don't need very verbose and a lot of explanations regarding the actual character and nature of the absolute truth. So with a few words, they are able to understand these great souls. So in these 4 slokas, the entire essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is there. And we have often discussed in 4 slokas. It has been communicated to us that there are 4 subject matters that is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. 4. The first one is that the Satchit Ananda. And then the 4th one is Rahasyam. So you have Satchit Ananda Sri Krishna, you have Satchit Ananda Jiva, you have the Rahasyam, the mystery of creation and Jiva. And Pradhan. Pradhan is the original ingredients for this material world. So these 4 factors have been discussed in these 4 slokas. and they form the root of all knowledge, the root also of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in which then Vyasadeva expanded and wrote his Srimad Bhagavatam. He was infused in the heart by Krishna, deep in meditation with these 4 shlokas.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So when Krishna so desires, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada blesses us, we shall get to hear Harikatha very soon again today. I thank all of you for your patient hearing and beg forgiveness for all my mistakes. Let us once again offer our most humble obeisances to the lotus feet of Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Prabhupada, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, and all his eternal associates, beginning with Arjuna. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jai.